here right now, so we're gonna give her a few minutes.
We'll have the
I mean,
gate open and all
I
that
do
stuff.
have an agenda. One person,
You should be
you
fine.
know, there's not a lot here that's gonna be voted on. I think this is all just discussion and information sharing for the most part. You know, which I can pick away at if something is happening, she's not here. And Leon's not here either.
Leon isn't gonna come.
He isn't.
No.
I saw him heading up the Moxie Road, he might have been doing something with the dam.
Okay. How's that looking anyway?
I'm just learned that we did open 2 gates, it's slowly receding, but it's,
Maybe that's what he went to do.
maybe.
I went the day, and nothing had been open yet, whatever it was, Saturday morning
Yes.
or whatever,
Well,
I'm like, this can't go on for too
He
long.
opened one,
But it was before we opened, coming over and around, I'm like, it's not.
yeah, it was 8 inches over when they went by, elevated, coming over the top. The problem with it coming over the top is you have, wear and, on the dam itself, you'll damage the actual concrete.
Absolutely, erosion and just, and being wet, it's constantly wet, so.
I'm gonna take a class at a time. University.
I know, I've mentioned to you before, and
I ended up doing.
I throw my name in,
Great student, loving it.
I drive by it.
Yeah, it's planning to see like what.
I know.
They started going. Yeah,
So Chris Mann is supposed to be
Right, you'd have to like, you'd have to park on the road, run in.
Leave it up on the road to Shirley and walk down, yeah.
Good. Charlie, I don't think I can, because I wouldn't be able to park my commercial vehicle.
Park on the
Leave it up
road.
to Shirley.
Good point.
power that
So
You
we're
have to
gonna
walk in with all your
you're either gonna have to change your
It's my
plans.
inconvenience, it ain't 20 below, I guess.
Right, I mean, you know.
I'll be right back.
What's that?
you don't have a generator either.
No, we have, a propane generator that we use for backup on like cloudy days, like when we're not getting any, making power, so.
Hatfield
We
uses
want
a
to be able
station, that's all she had,
They don't
it was cold times.
We have on the roof, and then we have a panel, panels out front of our camp.
I mean, I've actually known stuff.
There's like a pipeline from the garden.
In the summer, we don't really run the generator at all. This time of year,
And I get
maybe
it,
once
I
a week.
understand that, you know, the Florida people, they were stopping there, and all out
Yeah.
at night, and I think, you know, there was 10, 15 people at one time, I understand that part.
It's it's a
Somebody
big
probably called the car, the
expense,
guy,
usually.
told him on the back, they
Yeah.
probably.
She did.
It is.
She called Jimmy Wright, and all that.
There's something wrong with those
Signs
guys.
up. But the problem is, and then because we've always used that parking lot forever. I mean, I've been parking there, snowmobiling in, or snowshoeing in for my place
So,
since the.
You know, Sandy isn't here. There are a number of items on here. And Chris Mann, which is on the top, about talking, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. I mean, this is long enough, these meetings are long enough. You know, what is it? Is it quarter of right now?
6:36.
Brewing on at 7, so let's go.
No, that's 6 minutes. I'm gonna give her a little bit more. I'm just out of consideration, sorry.
4 more minutes, that'll be 10.
She's not, she's always here on time, she's always here first.
And Chris is.
That is a little bizarre.
She's always here right after, that's.
Do you think she's okay?
I'm hoping, yeah.
Like,
I think she was here this afternoon.
She was.
I saw her go
I
by
saw
my
her something.
house.
She was
At
because
noontime.
No, she put these agendas out,
Oh,
yeah.
the deal was we had the furnace,
Try her.
service today, and I was supposed to meet the guy at 3, and I got here about, 2:30 or something. She was here and the furnace guys were here. I thought you guys, well, we got a little early. I'm like, well, good, somebody was here, so. And she was here and then I left.
Give me your call, she probably won't, Evan, or somebody.
I don't have her phone number.
I was told not to text her. I was told not to contact her
And I-
on her cell phone, so.
No, and
I
I don't
won't.
have her contact info other than through here. That's
Okay.
just the way it is.
oh, I
I
might
blocked
still
her,
have
so.
it.
I
I wanna make sure she's
I have
okay.
it,
Her mobile phone is 663-4453.
That's hilarious.
I've deleted her.
I think this would be a lot.
She's got a 663 for a mobile.
4453.
I have a cell phone.
This used to be a great dance hall.
So good thing, give it a whirl.
We had, we used to have, New Year's Eve parties.
Just under five.
Yeah, Danny used to have
Danny
those.
had them, yeah,
Yeah.
$8.
So basketball,
Really?
ceiling is up, yeah, Rock used to shoot, yeah. Tewksbury here too, yeah, and, actually, Bruce Fries, because the ceiling was, yeah, you know.
Come up with another number.
Alright, one more number. I've got a cell phone.
Not the summer.
I have another
Right,
number,
right.
Charlie, 615, 2205.
That would've been,
Yeah.
all in high school, he and Luke, he got it's a nice little building.
It is.
I can bring it in here, I can bring it Ever waiting.
Yeah, but if you're not, you're also.
Unless she like hit a deer or, do you think she went home in between?
Yeah.
I didn't see her at Mary's when I went by. You didn't see her coming out.
But that doesn't mean she went home to let the dogs out and came out. I don't know.
And she
The
wouldn't
reason
have
I'm
heard
waiting
it.
is there's some important stuff that, you know,
Right.
particularly
Totally understand.
about resignations, and I don't really wanna just call the meeting, you know,
Right.
and have everybody go home, because, I mean,
Is that
if it was,
right,
yeah, if it was just cookie cutter, it'd be a different deal.
You ran into me, it looks like.
I didn't.
No monkey?
I got some potatoes in the truck.
There's spaghetti in the car.
I've got potatoes in
Like your awesome husband brought you a.
Right, so I wouldn't go hangry.
She does get angry.
They do. Don't we all?
Right, so we can do,
And so we ended up breaking in some first, tying up at the VFW where my dad worked.
There you go.
I got my captain to let me go home and sleep at home, and I came to work with my dad, and walked through the gates with him. Because he's been doing that, he had time to.
Oh, you're brave.
Don't get.
Down the Trump Dale in front of you,
What's that?
how far down the Trump Dale?
We're looking for
Exactly two point
clues.
five miles.
2.5.
Oh, there she goes.
Is she here?
She is, just 10th of a mile past.
Okay, that's the red truck.
No, she's right at 3.1.
Okay. Where does the power end up?
Our ends at 1.5.
That close place?
Nope, nope, well, Cliff's,
Cliff Stevens.
yes, his business or his camp?
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a camp here.
Yeah, so he's got a camp way down, probably 4 It's been for sale, I don't know, he might have sold it this year, it was, just a little small place. Yeah, no, he's right,
That's what I understand, I'm excited.
he's 300 yards maybe.
I'm not sure you did it on. I'm not sure you did it on.
I don't know, he's got everything for sale. He's gonna use signs, we're gonna-
And I get, and he's like, listen,
I know,
run that
Katie, she said she didn't want nothing to do with it, so. I don't think I know.
Awful what?
I just said,
Right where you should be.
He got me to a lot of
I'm surprised we left the office to come here, right till dark, out there with a headlamp, they can stop.
He had to back up here a little, too stiff to turn around. He don't.
I'm excited about that.
I'm blind without a cell phone.
That's all.
Yeah. Haven't had a chance to do the tally yet. When you get, something to write with.
first thing I did when I got my tractors, I had these rocks that I'd been mowing around for years.
I know the first two, Charlie.
I was
That's
like,
what I did.
that's what I was happy. You find someone with bigger than it was very gratifying. You know,
I did. Put 'em in the
You
hole.
know, get your tractor.
I want a tractor. I do. It's logical. Welcome to the meeting.
News guy is one of the favorite places in the whole world. I do want a tractor.
Good evening, I'm sorry I'm late.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah, I stopped to talk to Leon on the dam. What's the date today? Oh. This my agenda, come on. There was one right sitting there.
You can have mine if you want.
Huh?
We'll share.
Well, I can, there's one, extra ones over there.
Thank you, Denise, that was very nice of you.
That one?
That could be nice.
Absolutely. All right, what is the time so we can call the meeting?
6:44.
6:44, the meeting is called to order, thank you. Chris Mann is not here. Okay. My cell phone went south on Monday, so I haven't been able to contact Chris, but I did see him at the landfill on Sunday. And, mentioned to him, Charlie, this is the description, and that, he was gonna talk to you and tell you that he was coming too, but,
well, as far as I know, and you can correct me if I know otherwise, he was hired last year to do this.
Right.
And it was a tough year for a lot of different reasons.
mhm,
And as far as I know, that he hasn't been fired or, let go, so it would seem to me that he would be, if he wants to, be the person that would, be continuing to mow the lawns. Because that's just, I mean, to me, he was an employee,
right,
and it'd be no different than at the dump, you know, I mean, you can fire employees, but there has to be usually
Right.
just cause, and then you have to have, you know, a hearing and stuff like that, so to
Right.
me, best of my knowledge, he's still the person, and he's still interested. It's really hard to get a real enthusiastic response, because that's just the way he is. You know what I
right,
mean?
no,
But he said that he wanted to do it, and,
Okay,
I think
good.
he should be allowed to do it. And if there are any, you know, issues with performance, then we'll have to discuss it at the time,
as we go,
so,
and that can be reviewed as you go too.
right.
You know, where it was the first time after 14 years where we had that position open, originally, I guess we thought it would be a yearly posting or a yearly whatever. But like you say, it was not an average year. And we do have his employment application on file.
Mhm.
I did find that. I didn't bring it out here, but we do have that. And he is on our payroll, so.
Yeah, I think we need to move forward with Chris Mann, and if there are any issues, then we'll address them when they arise, if they arise. You know, things that might have happened last year, I don't think is a very good measuring stick for
No, no, no.
anybody. Especially with mowing, between the weather and everything else that was going on, so I can confirm that with him when I see him, or you can, but, you know, as far as we're concerned,
Well, you wanna make a motion about it?
I'll make a motion that we continue to employ Chris Mann as the lawnmower
Okay,
for the plantation.
I second that. All in favor?
There you go.
See, we agree. We can do it. All right. Now, on Moxie Dam, I stopped at Moxie Dam when Leo was out there, and I went and talked with him, and, he said that he probably wouldn't come down to the meeting, he had his assessors meeting today, and, Iris was making him pork chops or something, I guess, or whatever. But, he said that, he's monitoring the dam at least twice a day, and he was doing some adjustments while I was there, and working on some debris. So, he's in constant conversations with Chris, and it's the beginning of the year. That's,
Good.
yeah.
I hope the adjustments were opening it. because-
Yes, definitely. It has, the groundwater has subsided quite a bit, I'm very excited about that. But, and most of the snow is gone, but there's still some snow melt there, still. And then, so that's in progress, as we know, right? Thought we'd bring up the removal of the old dock. The new dock is on order, I don't know when it's gonna be coming, but Chris has ordered it.
He told me probably within the next 2 weeks, he's thinking plus or minus.
Yeah.
We also talked about getting rid of the old one, and I think the plan is that Dave is gonna, take care of the floating ramp. The rampway, when I get a chance, I'm gonna go up with the Sawzall, and I'm gonna chop it into little pieces and put it in my truck and bring it up to the transfer station. That's,
Okay.
I think that's what we're gonna, if there's anything there that anybody thinks is salvageable, I want, that I won't do that, but from what I understand, I mean, I went to look at it the other day, and it was in the water, I'm like, I'm not leaving up, so I need to see what's going on with that thing,
It's
so.
been used in,
Now, will the dock stay in place until the new dock arrives in case it's late, or is it?
I don't think so,
No.
I don't think that's mine.
I don't think so, I think it's in pretty bad disrepair, I mean, I don't
Okay.
use it, but there was some issues, I think some concerns about safety even,
Yeah.
Okay.
last year, so.
Where it's away from land right now, I think that's a good thing. I don't know, David, do you have any plans, how to get that?
Today, the ice is out.
Yes,
You can
yes.
actually navigate from one end to the other.
Wow,
So I will have my boat ready this week and in the water hopefully this weekend I'll grab.
awesome, awesome, and I don't,
Big boat.
and that's
Put it
just,
in, there's no dump.
and then you're just taking it and you're gonna remove it, and then Charlie's gonna take care
I'm
of
gonna
it.
take care of the
Oh, I
rest,
thought it
yeah.
was gone.
All right, let's make a motion on that. Yeah, I don't,
Make a motion that David's gonna take the floating part, and I'm gonna dismantle the walkway, when I can,
Mhm.
and, cut it up and bring it up to the transfer station.
That's gonna cost you.
oh boy, oh boy. But we're neighbors.
Bring a check.
So that's a good plan, does it sound good to you, David? Okay.
Unless I have mechanical issues, it'll be gone this weekend.
Okay, well, I think that's a good use of it, David, really, and I hope you guys can use it.
Yeah.
No problem at all.
And so Charlie, you made the motion, okay.
And I can second that.
And then all in favor of the plan.
Yeah. Unanimous. See, we can do it, Charlie. All right, so. This, we can move on to Article 3 unless anybody has anything about the dam. You good about that? This morning I had a call from Ernie DeLuca, who works for Brookfield, and they're gonna try to get the bridge down at Cary Brook fixed. You know, the one that's been in disrepair for a while. And to do that, they've gotta get it started, get the materials in, all that stuff. So Ernie was asking for an exemption for them to bring the materials and the excavator on the Lake Moxie Road. So I said, okay, Ernie, I took his information and everything, and then I got here to the town hall, and there was another gentleman that had called, and, you know, saying the same thing, that he does that and the other, and then he had talked to Phil Curtis. And I said, well, I think I would like to talk with Phil Curtis before, you know, I jump into this. So I called Phil, and Phil Curtis had some very good points. He said that where May 1st is coming up, right up at the end, he said, I think it's a good idea if we pull the road postings May 1st. Keep them in place until May 1st, and then they can go from there. So in other words, we don't have to give them a letter of exemption, because we're gonna pull the road postings on May 1st. Gives us a couple more weeks, The road's starting to dry out, as you know, a little better, your signs kind of fell down, but,
I'll go pick them up, they're litter now. I went up the other day when I was looking at the dam and, it was not getting launched as often as I was a couple weeks ago, so I could see it had mellowed out. I think when
I
it
can
comes to
pick up.
road stuff, you know, at this point, I really kind of defer to Phil.
yeah,
He has a lot more knowledge than I do, that's what he does, and if he's good with that, then I'm not in a position to, you know, disagree, so.
right.
I think that's fine.
I think
Unless
that's-
something untoward happens, I mean, if we get, I don't know if we get drenching rain for 2 weeks, whether that changes anything or not. but-
That's not next time before.
No, true.
Not.
But he did make a point where we had limited NEC, that if we get another request, I would say, yeah, we'll go ahead and do whatever you want.
Mhm.
You know, he said it might be better and more prudent for us to wait and just pull the road post and smoke it.
Well, the precedent is that then, you know, moving forward, it could be, the next time it's gonna be a logger that wants a special pass, whatever, so I think
Yeah.
that's fine. You know what I
So
mean, as
is that a
opposed to-
motion, Cindy, that you made?
I make a motion that we pull the road postings on May 1st and notify Brookfield and NECEC that the road will be lifted, postings will be lifted May 1st.
A second.
Okay, all in favor? Here we go. Alright, so. Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Do you want me to call Ernie and this other guy back? Or whatever? You know Ernie Bullock.
Oh, God, I'm ready to. Yes,
You want me to do that?
well, since you talked to him, I mean,
Yeah,
if
I'm
you
just
could-
asking, I just
Yeah.
wanna make sure that we're on the same page, John. So I will call them to let them know. And I'll let Phil know that that's what we decided in.
Okay.
Alright.
What was the other guy's name? I saw you had. the
Bill
Forester Manufacturing.
has Lamb, I'd have to look at it
Okay.
again. He spelled it out for me, he's a forester that they hired,
Oh, okay.
and,
And did you
Is
guys
he a
vote,
family?
did you vote on that?
yeah, we were in favor, yeah,
Okay.
all in favor. Yeah, and he said that Dennis Fregon was gonna be doing the work. Okay. Let me try to make note over here, old business over here, sure. Got an issue we're gonna talk about there, okay. So I think that takes care of Article 3, right? Okay. Brings us down to Article 4. Bring out. Oh, yeah, okay. And Article 4, the board to read and accept resignation letters. We have 2 resignation letters right here. We have one from Chris Hugh, and we have one from Barbara Norman. Now, Barbara Norman is on the school board, and her term is up on June 30th, you know, at the end of this fiscal year. And she wrote us a resignation letters to say that she's not gonna be moving on beyond that.
Okay.
So what we do is we accept it now with that date, and as we get ready for the town book, we'll have to figure out who's in rotation to be replaced and all that fun stuff. But it's part of getting ready for town meeting, which works. So, and then we
That's
have.
effective June 30th, you
Yep,
said?
let me read it out loud. So it was dated March 25th, 2024, from Barbara Norman to the Forks Plantation Selectmen. I am notifying the Board of Selectmen of the Forks Plantation that I am resigning as a member of the Forks Plantation School Board as of June 30th, 2024. Thank you, Barbara Norman. Okay, so I make a motion, we accept her resignation as written.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Look at it. Next, I have a notice here from Chris, and it was dated on the sixth, April sixth, to everyone. It says, I am giving my resignation as third assessor to you all. I will continue to do the dam position, but not as third assessor of the town. I am leaving because I am no longer willing to take such a hostile, hurtful environment. The last year and a half has made me, for the first time in my life, around this area, not to be proud from here, to be from here. I love this town and was asked to help, and will help in any way that I can for this area. I will continue to come to the meeting today because I believe we should at least try to work out the recent accusations, and most of all, wish the town to be peaceful, respectful, and successful. Chris, you.
I make a motion to accept the letter of resignation as.
Is it effective immediately, Sandy? I didn't.
Is effective tonight.
Tonight, okay.
Yeah. We have to formally accept it for it to be legit,
Yeah, I just
you
didn't,
know.
I didn't catch that. I didn't have just go into,
Oh, I-
yeah.
I apologize. I second that, and we all in favor? Okay, cool. So those were the resignations I had. Which now brings us to a vacancy in the third assessor area. And that's why I put the article in on Article 5. Article 5 says the board to discuss holding a special town meeting to fill any vacancy. So that's up for discussion.
I'm disinclined, given how close we are to the elections in June, frankly. I mean, it's gonna be somebody coming in here, you know, for a few weeks, really. That's
Right.
just how I feel about it. I know the West Fork went quite a while without, you know, with a vacancy. We're not looking at that long period of time. That's how, that would be my, position on that.
I think we should fill it. I think we should have a full board. And here we are with two people who don't agree, so it's a stalemate. Yeah.
So what happens? Do we ask the, people, the town's people to vote?
No, No,
because
that's
that
not
would
part
have to
of
be
it.
something that would be on.
Table
So-
it.
What happens when, my
They go to the
understanding
gym.
this happens is that it gets tabled,
right.
so I guess we're gonna have to table that one.
I just think that we really should consider it. I know we have a 1 year one-year term in place now, and 1 month doesn't seem like a long time. And actually, it's May and June, because it's till the end of June, Charlie.
I think like 10 weeks is what I calculated, something like that. I'm not inclined to fill it at this time.
Yeah.
So. Or to hold an election for that position, not right now. I mean, if we have everything right, June 20th, or if that's down in June, should we have an election? And that
That's what I
person
was
can,
thinking.
yeah, but that person can come on board with everybody else too, at that same time, you know? So it's gonna be a pretty, interesting election, and I think we should wait to see how things play out at that point.
But I mean, as you get ready for the budget, and the budget does involve the assessors and the treasurer, and sometimes the tax collector, sometimes the clerk is there. It's better to have a full board. Yes, David?
I think it would be just a good incentive to, get the town, the annual meeting done in June, early June.
That sounds if you can get things moved and done, yes.
Oh, I agree.
That's an excellent goal. I'm with you on that. Definitely with you on that.
Yep.
So I guess because we do not agree, the issue is tabled. I will follow it up with an May and include you, Charlie.
Okay.
Anything that I will include you. Article 6, tax collectors report. Dated April 16th, 2024. I'm trying to speak up,
Thank you.
I'm sorry. All stabilization reimbursements have been received from the Maine Revenue Services Property Tax Division via EFT, which is electronic funds transfer. Reimbursements have been posted to all 4 accounts and are paid in full. The state of Maine overpaid the reimbursement amount by 66 cents. This amount will need to be added as a journal entry via the treasurer, as it was an electronic funds transfer. It should be posted to the G1600123 account or real estate for 2023. Once confirmed, please advise on the town meeting date and when the town report deadline will be for this year, so appropriate reports are ready from the tax collector. Thank you to Chris Hugh for his service as third assessor. It was a pleasure working with you. Sincerely, Judith Hutchins. I wanna make a motion?
I make a motion that we accept this. Is there something on here that requires Evan's follow-up? It looks like, so can he get a copy of this?
You could give him that copy if you would prefer,
Yeah,
then he has it.
so,
You can have that, Evan, if you want.
I, make a motion to accept the tax collector's report as, read by Sandra Thompson.
I second it, all in favor? There we go. Good job. Okay. We have Article 7, Treasurer's Report, Evan. Thank you for being here, Evan.
All right, okay, so our, checking balance as of today is $141,311.64. Not much that's notable outstanding from previous warrants, but we do have warrant 67 that's getting ready to be mailed, and that totals $32,919.29. So our balance after unpaid commitments would be $108,392.35. There are some recent deposits, but our recent deposits are all really small these days. We do have one of the stabilizations that came in for $601. We had some excise tax for $982, and then the last tax collector deposit, which was one real estate tax check, and then there was another check. It was it's $295 those, so small. Total of $1,800. That's really all the activity that we've got going on that front right now, other than, at some point, we're gonna have to start paying back that $100,000 that we borrowed from, the fund, so I don't know when.
What account did we borrow that from?
Dump closure.
Dump closure.
It's something we'll be including in the town warrant for town meeting.
I'm assuming we're gonna pay it sometime between now and June.
No,
I think
No.
we're
We
gonna,
don't do the first year? We're gonna skip the first year.
well, it has to be voted on at town meeting, Evan.
I think the deal last year was that we were gonna start paying it back this year, this coming town year at $25,000.
At the town
For
meeting.
4 years, yeah.
At the town
We were
meeting.
gonna have it on the warrant.
We have to put it on a warrant, it has to be voted on by the public.
Right.
It's not on.
But I believe it was.
You guys already voted on that?
So I thought
I
we
thought
did.
you
We
already
did
voted
vote
on
on
that.
that last town meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that was all
That it was
finished.
gonna be paid
it's
back
not
at
all
20.
finished, no, it's not.
4 years, right? 4 years, $25,000.
Right. I think it
Yeah,
should
we
be brought
kinda
up to
worked
the
on that.
people again, I think it's a debt account, and I think we should bring it up at town meeting and discuss it again,
We're gonna
not
beat
just
that horse.
automatically pay it.
So we voted that.
It was not included on the warrant that way, it was not a legal vote. You have to have the warrant article posted for the people to review, it was discussed, absolutely. And we can bring it back to the next town meeting warrant, written that way for discussion.
I think that the warrant was actually revised, wasn't it? During, at least that's what the minutes say.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
amended?
We'll have to look at it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amended.
Yeah, it was.
I think our checkbook is a little bit lean, and I think we need to be careful as to that, but we can definitely look into that,
That's an
definitely,
opinion.
and see if it should have been automatic or whatever.
You know, we can look at the minutes, but my recollection was that the way it went, my understanding was that we were gonna borrow it, 100,000 from the closure account, and we're gonna pay it back over 4 years at 25 grand a year.
Right.
Whether that's my understanding, and that was what was voted on. You know, I guess, you know, if we wanna put it on a warrant for this year and have the people vote on it again, I mean, I don't know how that kind of thing works. It's like, you know, if somebody's voted on something, you say, this is gonna, it's gonna, way it's gonna go, and then you go the next year and say, no, we're not gonna do that. I mean, it
No,
doesn't
but it
seem.
wasn't included in the budget, in the budgetary figures.
It'll be
That
included in this-
25,000,
but
the
it-
100,000 was moved, but,
Right. But this year will be included, and we're gonna start paying it back.
right, and you have to have that on a warrant.
Right.
Can't spend money unless they tell us to. Go ahead.
Okay, motion to accept the treasurer's report by,
I make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as, presented by Evan Anderson.
I second it, all in favor? I do have a couple of questions, Evan. The 941 quarterlies, the Main State quarterlies, and the unemployment quarterlies due this month. Where do you stand on those?
They're due at the end of the month. It's not the end of the month yet.
No, it's not, I just wanted to make
So
sure.
that's where I stand.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So we need to,
We made a motion that we accept the treasurer's
yeah,
report.
and I second it. Well, okay, let's do that. Yeah, okay. And we can discuss the budget here if we'd like, or we can do it further down.
I
You
don't
know,
see it's on the agenda. I think that the town report, right, town clerk comes next.
she does, or we can do it down there, whatever you want.
I would, since it's not on here, I would put it on new business. If it's not on,
All right.
just stick with this until we get to new business.
All right,
That would be I think would be the way to go, so,
okay,
town clerk?
yes.
so, the only thing really of importance to note is that I, tried to do the voter history, from the primary, voting in March, and this evening, I got most of the information out, I just didn't do the report when I was working on it the last time, and this evening when I tried to get in, it's locked out of it, and I have to call the Secretary of State to, figure out why, so, anyway, I wasn't able to finish that report, but it's not a huge thing. And we still haven't gotten any more mailings from the June primary.
Okay.
Yeah, it's odd, I would have thought we would have been inundated already with the Secretary of State, but nothing yet, so. That's my report, done,
So when is the primary, on June?
June 11th, I believe.
So June 11th, if we look at the calendar, and I don't have one, I have a cell phone. Just looking, you know, projecting, usually the town meeting is the week before the assessors meeting. And you have the town meeting, then you have the assessors meeting after that. Which I think would put it in that June 11th timeframe, right?
June 11th.
On June 11th, yes. So if we did it on the 12th, it would be after your primary, right, Susan?
Did what on the 12th?
Well, the town meeting.
Oh,
This is just projecting things out, because we have a timeline, we're gonna have to
yeah.
kick
Wait
it
a
up.
second.
So-
June 11th is gonna be on a Tuesday, and you're proposing a Wednesday for the town meeting?
Oh, see, I wasn't sure.
You're talking about the assessors meeting?
No, the annual town meeting, right.
18.
It just so happens the 11th is the primary.
Right,
and that's
yeah, I
when
know.
you would-
Correct, which normally would be town meeting day,
Yeah.
and then you'd have
Right.
the assessors meeting the
The
week.
following.
Right, which you could do town meeting on the 18th.
Assessors meeting on the 25th.
No, isn't the
the
assessors
assessors
meeting
meeting's
the
gonna be
third
before that.
Tuesday, so it would have been the 18th?
Right.
And then if you want the meeting before that, it would be on the 15th, if you want it on a Saturday.
We
That's
don't
what I'm-
usually have
No,
them
we're
on
on
a
That's a
Saturday.
Saturday.
We don't have one Saturdays.
Not
no.
usually they're they're
Tuesday.
a week before the
Okay, so then.
but no, I mean, it doesn't mean that it has to be that way, I'm just trying to put it out there for.
Well,
everybody
it would
to
normally
digest.
would be on the 11th, because the assessors meeting's on the 18th, but we can't do it on the 11th
Okay,
because we
so
have the
we're gonna
election,
do
so.
the 18th and the 25th, is that what we just said?
No, that was a suggestion, but we could always do the 12th and
I would do the 12th
the 8th,
for the town
And
meeting,
then
and then
the
the
18th
18th for
on
the
the
assessors, that's what
Okay.
I'd do.
and that way
So we'll have,
you'd have your primary through for the day and, you know, cause you were kinda concerned about the timing of that. And
and we just have to
just wanted to make sure
clean
you.
that up and set this
Oh,
room up
that
for the,
won't-
for
that
the
won't
town
take
meeting. So tentative, we're thinking town meeting on June 12th. Is that right?
June, Evan.
In the evening,
Right,
not at 4 o'clock or something.
oh,
In
no,
the
no, no,
evening.
no,
Yeah.
no,
Well,
no,
we've had them at 4 o'clock.
right, which
Yeah.
we don't need to, absolutely, no, we don't. We don't
I'm
need to.
glad that it's not on a Saturday,
Yeah,
actually.
So is it usually at 6 o'clock?
usually they start at 6, yeah, the town assessors meetings are 6:30 generally, then assessors,
Motion to approve the clerk's report
I'm sorry,
by,
I make a motion, we approve the clerk's report.
I second that, all in favor? Let's do it. Okay. All right. Which I haven't even looked at. Something right side up. Information that we had last month. No, I gave it to Susan. Here it is right here. Yeah, there you are. So many of that, I had no idea. Alright, so. I think the good news is we don't need any more salt. I'm praying. I don't have that information that you gave us, Susan. Was that in the minutes, the information I gave you on the salt? Right? You put it in the minutes?
I think I did,
Okay,
the
hold
last,
on.
the last time.
'Cause that's a quick reference and handy. Yeah. And we don't have to do this now, that would be nice to know what we're under. What's the tax? Ton of work. Sand and salt, salt usage was 248.75. And we were in a 44.85.
What was the next number?
I'm looking, well, as of last report, we were 44.85 ton in the deficit. And then you have to add these numbers to that deficit, okay?
The ones on this report.
Right,
Let me see what I had for last time, it was,
I found your minutes,
oh, you did?
I did,
okay.
sorry. So 2, 4, 6, 8.
Yeah, the deficit was 44.5
Yeah.
last time, yeah.
I can tell you what I'm thinking is gonna happen, and then we'll see if we agree, right, John? 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 1. 11, 15, So 53 ton of salt used. So you add 53 to the 44.
And that's how much we're in deficit?
Oh, yeah. And last year we had estimated in the budget that we'd have 7 loads. Our last load delivered last month was the 7th load, which pretty much brings us up to the top of that budget line, all right? So, with the 97.85 in deficit, there's a couple of ways you can handle it. I don't believe we could order another that would be 2 more loads, well, that'd be 3 loads, actually. Cause a load is like 32 or 34.
Yeah, I think average is 33.
You could do,
Cindy, didn't we say that you were gonna order another load at the last
we
meeting?
did.
And so then how are we still at that
Hold on.
deficit if we ordered more salt?
Okay, maybe I haven't taken that amount out is what you're thinking. Good call, okay. I have that delivery slip right here, hold on. Oh, I don't have the delivery slip here. So you're thinking we're gonna, yeah, I can check on that to make sure. We've used 53, and we got a load of 32, that would make 11 plus, that would still be 64 ton in deficit, Susan. So that's like 2 loads. We could order 2 more loads, but we'd be over budget. We can go into the budget for the warrant for the town meeting, put in an amount to pay for the deficit, and
As
then
well
put
as
in
the
a
next year.
projected amount to put in for next winter season. So that you bring in before the people the full cost of what's due.
We have budgeted 18,000 and then we used 15, so if you ordered more, then where are we now?
We're pretty close to that 18,000 right now.
But pretty close is not a number, I don't know.
I know, I apologize, I don't have all the slips in front of me, which I can quantify, that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I think maybe we just don't put numbers on this report.
Right, I mean, I can, where I only got these figures from Andy just before I came here, that's another reason I was delayed. So, what I can do is give the final numbers to the board, and as we go through the budget process, we'll be talking about that.
Okay.
How's that?
That sounds reasonable to me. I think that if we were under budget last year, then we need to, when we're planning our budget this year, plan for what we owe from last year, and then obviously boost this year's budget substantially over what we did last year. I mean, I think it was lowball because we changed vendors and how they spread salt and how often is a little bit is different. And so it was kind of comparing apples to oranges. And so, this year coming up, we'll have better figures to project. This coming winter.
We've got one year in on
Because
my contract.
it'll be the same contract.
Was this
they'll do the same
just
way.
a question, was this a lower year? It would seem to be a lower use year or something?
You'd think so, but not necessarily, with temperatures and that kind of thing. Lack of snow weather doesn't mean it's lack of salt usage.
Right,
Yeah,
could
which
be
is
the
crazy.
opposite. I'm just asking, like,
Yeah.
historically, is this about an average year?
It's under, I think.
Yeah, probably under total, but I think that, my personal opinion is that Andy tends to lay on more salt than Sam did. And I'm not in a position to criticize either one of them, I'm just saying they doing things a little bit different. When we projected our budget, it was based on what Sam had been doing, and now we've changed contractors, and they're changing, and it's an increased amount, so we're gonna have to catch up with that this year, you know what I mean? So, we didn't have good numbers, comparing, this year we'll know exactly, have a better idea for projected because of what Andy did, you know what I'm saying?
So what is the motion?
I was just reporting, I wasn't motioning,
So we aren't gonna, okay, I didn't know if there was any action. that
because
was
I
gonna
don't
be
have the
taken.
final figures, and,
Okay,
and the state when I go to the state, they might say, well, let's keep that 53 ton in deficit, or they might say, give us so much a ton for those, for what you owe us. And then we start off the year clean in the fall, you know what I mean, in the winter, so, I don't know, I mean, it's gone both ways, sometimes I don't know if we've ever paid and we've always been able to have a deficit, but with things changing and new people coming in, it might be a good idea just to have things even.
I think this year we went into it with a deficit.
Only 11.
Yeah.
Well, we had
It was
11 ahead,
Left
We were
over,
11
11
ahead.
ahead
Yeah.
from the prior year.
but
year
this
we're gonna come
is
in
quite a
behind.
bit, it's
Yeah.
like 2 loads.
Mhm.
Another good thing about the salt line is that we kind of like fund the county, okay, so we put in the budget, that 18, whatever it is, they're gonna give us back probably,
Oh, half of it.
yeah, probably could have, so of that 18,000, we're gonna get probably 9 back. So, I mean, it's we kind of front the money for them and we work together with the DOT shed, it's always worked out that way. But, it's kinda looks, if you don't know that explanation, you'd think, well, the town's gonna spend all that money, well, not really, so. That's just the way we've done it until we do it different. So, that's part of that explanation. And I appreciate, that, so I will make sure I get the exact amount, thank you for bringing that up, Susan, good eye.
I have
And,
a question, have we settled with Kevin Ross for the winter?
not yet,
Not yet.
not yet. Thank you. Not yet. So that's the sand and salt, hopefully we don't need any more salt, people. I don't want any more. So no motion on that, as we'll do that as we go into budget. All right, Article 10, acceptance of assessors minutes, meeting minutes of March 19th, 2024, and emergency assessors meeting of April 6th. I didn't have the emergency minutes of April 6th to look at, it doesn't mean I didn't get them.
Was that an assessors meeting or a town meeting?
It was an emergency assessors meeting on
That's a
April
town
6th.
meeting, a special
The
town
Saturday
meeting.
meeting. Saturday.
Yeah,
The
but
Saturday
but-
meeting.
But the
What?
residents voted, right, on that?
No.
Oh, you guys
doing
didn't vote?
executive decision.
Okay, and,
Okay,
That was a Saturday.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, and then we came out and there was something that we,
We talked about our H.R. Smith.
okay, all right, so, okay.
But it was this regular assessors meeting of March 19th and then the
Right,
emergency
sorry.
assessors, which
do we have any minutes of the special town meeting?
Yes, I
Right.
did.
I'm not saying she didn't do them, I just didn't have them immediately accessible to look at. It doesn't mean I couldn't have found them if I looked.
So are we ever gonna accept those, or no?
Didn't have them in front of me, so I'd have to look at them so we could accept one and table the other, I guess. I mean, unless we have them real quick for me to look at, so I wouldn't. It was a short meeting.
Right, but it happened.
No, absolutely, no, it's gotta be, no, it'll be documented, yeah.
If, it would be my, suggestion that we vote to, accept the meetings from the assessors meeting on the 19th and save the ones for the 6th until our next assessors meeting.
Okay,
Since you haven't had a chance to review
Yeah,
them,
I
I mean, they're not
apologize.
very extensive, but.
I have them right here pulled up, but can't put them here.
no, don't, yeah.
Okay, so.
Let's leave some comments for next year.
So I make a motion that we accept the assessors meetings from the, March 19th, 2024.
Okay, and table the April.
And table the, April
All right,
6th.
I second that. All in favor? We're good. All right, so. Let's see. All right, so we have on Article 11 board to consider renewing insurance coverage. And I don't know what those initials stands for, but it's SOPHOS Central Intercept X Advanced Email Protection for the Forks Plantation. And we got an email saying that it's gonna expire. And I don't know if it was 1 year, you have a credit of it, but it says, I hope you're all doing well. I'm reaching out because your SOPHOS Central Intercept X Advanced Email Protection for the Forks Plantation is up for renewal. As you know, this SOPHOS Central Intercept X Advanced has been our go-to security ever since the city of Augusta was struck with ransomware. If anybody's ever heard about that, that's hell. So not only was the city out of business for a couple of days, they also faced the remediation costs to clear each server and computer so they could go back online safely. Intercept X Advanced can handle ransomware and malware. Please see below the renewal options I put together for your consideration. Please note the options below are based off of the 2 computers that we have. We only have 2. If you need this quantity adjusted, please let us know. If you have any product or technical questions, feel free to reach out. And this is what she.
Yeah, I've taken a look at
Oh,
it.
you have, okay.
Yeah, to me, the risk, of having, you know, whatever they call it, virus and all that kind of stuff in our town, far exceeds the cost. But I would only go for a year, and it's 9304.
Yeah, but aren't we paying like 3 different companies for like computer protection?
No, API is who we work with.
API,
Right, and they do a
Is this
monthly
API?
thing. And what?
is this API?
This is recommended through API. She,
Oh, you didn't mention that.
I apologize, let me see when I read her email. She is at apitechnology.com. She said that Scott recommends this for you people. And I have it on the other part of the email that she mentioned Scott's name. And he is through API, and that's why I brought it forth. It isn't just randomly somebody reaching out saying, hey, you need this
Well,
coverage.
we've had it in the past, is that correct?
Oh, I don't remember paying a bill, but it might have been something that we were enrolled in for a year and then it's renewable.
You should research that a little bit, Mike,
Maybe.
Yeah,
as a phishing attempt.
it's through API.
Mm.
Katie's face.
I could
Yes.
do that. I could go read that. I could call them.
Okay.
I can do it, I'm fine.
How much is it?
This is 9304
Right.
for a year.
Right.
9,000.
No,
No,
93.
93,
Well,
no.
9304 is usually
No, no, you,
9,304.
Oh, God, no, definitely.
$93.04.
Right, which we can verify that, yep,
Is that an add-on to a larger subscription we pay? It sounds like with this API.
I think that's,
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of question, we do pay API $11 or something a month.
they come in and they check our workstations, Justin, and that kind of thing, and they're also our on-call IT people when we need them, and sometimes we do. And they'll come in and they can go remotely into our computers and check things and all that. One day I had sat down at the computer and for some reason started transferring to Windows 11. We don't need Windows 11 on our system. So I called them and they stopped it immediately. And he says, oh, that's one of those program generic, automatic, let's get them to do this.
Yep.
And I said, well, I'm not doing any more updates on this computer, I can tell you that. So they stopped that helped. But it does say renewal, and I looked and I couldn't find where we had paid anything before. And I didn't go the extra step.
Well, maybe Evan can find out, I mean, if we paid him, then the cut, check was cut, right?
Right, well, it'd be just more prudent to call her and ask her, if we paid you, when did we pay you, and, yeah.
So motion to research insurance options?
Yeah.
By,
We can bring it back to the
who's the motion from? Who
and
made
we
that
can do it if you
motion?
want.
I make a motion that we, research the, Central Intercept, malware, ransomware, protection service by, I think this is basically insurance,
Right.
is basically what it is. we do need to know a little bit more about it. I mean, I think we should have the protection. What I do know is we get a lot of spam on that computer, a lot of stuff, because it's, you know, a town, a lot of junk that comes in there. So, you know, to me, it's certainly worth considering, but that's just my feeling on it.
Yeah, she has a number of it here. If you want to slide that in, go there, yeah. And we'll report back to the board, please. Okay. All right.
So I make a motion that Evan is gonna do some research on the SOFA Central Intercept X Advance and report back to the board with his findings at the next meeting.
Or before, if you can, I mean,
Or
or
before he
whatever,
finds out, yeah.
yeah, whatever. Update when you can, kind of thing. Awesome, I second that motion. All in favor? There we go. Article 12, on an update. I did check in with Ron this morning, I sent him an email about the 2022 audit. He said soon we will be in touch. He said that Karen was gonna be in touch with you, Evan. She had a couple questions, and finalizing the audit, she was gonna be reaching out to you. And then he said soon, so. I promised it by the end of April. We're at what, 16th right now? So. And he said he was almost ready to come and start the 2023 audit, to come on site. We did approve on the warrant. I know we don't have the warrants out here, but we can bring them out if anybody wants to look at them. I meant to bring them out and set them on the table. But we did approve his first payment at that special meeting that we had on that Saturday. And that's for the 2023. And he said that they're prepared to come on site to start that process. So that's exciting. That's good news. I'll make a motion, we accept the audit report.
Second.
All in favor? UKVAS update. The new ambulance was in service for the eclipse. And the eclipse went pretty well. We had 2 ambulances on staff. There was 5 ambulances on staff in Jackman. Not a lot of problems, you know, some hit or miss stuff going on, but, they said it went rather smoothly, so they were excited about that. The second unit that they were gonna get for the ambulance, everybody's seen that ambulance sitting outside at the ambulance base down there in Bingham. They were gonna send that down to the factory and have the box taken off and put the box on a new truck body. But there's been questions about the warrantying of that and how to get things to work, you know. And so the grant monies, we've spent like $385,000 of the $600,000 that we were approved for. So the thinking is to get a complete second unit with the monies left over from the bond, you know.
Brand new?
Yeah, brand new. So that we'd and that one could be here as early as September, where the other one, if we shipped it down and did all that, it wouldn't be here until next week. So, and then we can sell the third unit, which is the better, younger unit, lower mileage, that kind of thing, for a stipend to keep, you know, to keep the funds alive, so, yeah. So, it's kind of exciting to think that we're gonna have 2 brand new units coming in, and all those people that were around, not a whole lot happened. But, so that was good to hear, but they were ready for it, and, Ian, who was our director for the ambulance, is settling into his position as town manager in Bingham. So he's more present in the community, and, things are going well, staffing is going easier. There was a profit, I don't have the money in front of me, I apologize. But things are better, so going well. very lucky to be able to be part of it, especially all this new stuff. And I did wanna get a picture for that new ambulance, maybe for our town report cover, which, I should be able to get those and see how you guys feel about that. I just think that's a good idea, but we'll see. As we move forward to getting ready for town meeting. All right, make a motion, we accept the ambulance report.
Second.
All in favor? CFW update. I did attend the meeting last month. When's the meeting this month, Charlie?
No.
It's tomorrow night, okay, thank you.
6 p.m.
6, I'm gonna make a run to Portland, but hopefully I'll be back. Wednesday at 6, thank you. Things have been pretty quiet up there with not a lot of traffic. We got a little bit of mud up there, right, Charlie?
It's getting better
But
already.
it's getting better already.
I'll be reaching out to Andy shortly to be budgeted for some site work to be done over the summer up there, and so I'll talk with him to just Brian up and see what his schedule is. There was some talk about hazardous waste day, kind of coordinated with Caratunk's demo day. Bolsters does not do hazardous waste, and they did not have any recommendations for me. That will require more work on my time, just to see, what we're talking about is, wet paint, hydraulic fluid, stuff like that. I mean, people do have it kicking around.
Yeah.
And it would be nice for them to get rid of, appropriately, because I know where it might end up otherwise, so.
Does the
This is
state
just
have
out in
any
the
kind of
bucket.
grants for that, Charlie? Does the state have any kind of grants for that? I know other places that I've lived, the state will take the lead on that and they'll go out to the communities.
I don't know, they may. I have not followed up beyond bolsters, and they said, you don't need to, it doesn't tell. So,
Yeah,
that's
they
all.
would probably know.
Yeah. That's all I know about that right now.
Yeah, and Chris, is there every week, and I don't remember the date that we start the spring hours, but that'll be happening.
After Memorial Day, isn't it?
Yeah,
The first Wednesday after, Thursday, is it
first Thursday.
Thursday after Memorial Day.
We'll have Carrollton on the 19th, and then we'll open
The
the
first
floor on
demo.
Thursday.
The first demo day.
Cool. Awesome.
I make a
May
motion, we accept the CFW update as presented by Sandra Thompson.
Second it, all in favor? There we go. You got it. I do have to bring something to your attention, Charlie. Lately, when I've been going up the Lake Moxie Road, I know when Charlie and I met with FEMA last week, and we thought the Lake Moxie Road was closed for projects, but, on the upper part, you have Crab Apple and that stretch going up the hill, and where that little turnout road is,
Into where the snowmobile trail comes down?
no, well, you're up farther, you're up just
Okay.
before the Mile and Quarter Bridge,
Okay,
that piece
yeah.
that we did there.
Yeah.
The tar is caved in and undermined, which is definitely a problem that happened with the December 18th storm. And what they do is when you have a project, they'll review it with you and then they'll submit it for approval. We thought we were all done. I didn't have a picture, I didn't have my cell phone so I could take a picture of it to show you. But I think we need to open that up and include that. And that's gonna be, you gotta dig it out, you gotta compact it, you gotta put it back in, and then you gotta repave it. You gotta look at it.
Well, we can do that. The FEMA thing is interesting because they seem to be much more responsive and it's considerably easier to get them to pay when you've already done the project. And so this is one of these things like, and I'm happy to do it, I'd love to have them pay for it, but one of those things like the mountain cemetery, we did have it fixed, they couldn't get up there, we don't really know what needs to be done.
Right.
And so,
It's gonna take more work.
I think My understanding is that there is another spot, was noticed on the Moxie Road. I don't know if it's the town or the county.
Mhm.
And it's on the right side coming down, there was a cone there.
Yeah, that's in the county
That's in
section.
the county?
Yeah, and that was definitely part of that storm damage that Phil was talking to Sandy
Right.
White the other day.
Right.
And Phil said that they're gonna be doing some culvert work there.
Okay,
Yeah,
are they going
just-
through
it's-
FEMA for that too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I think they're still in discussion on that.
Okay.
But
Is
when
this
we,
discussion under new business or old business, or where are we?
old business.
Okay,
It's the FEMA stuff.
Right,
okay.
I think it would behoove us to try to get this included, even if it stalls, cause we got an email from her today to sign this project off.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, I think we should look at it.
How much, well, that's fine with me, it's just, FEMA is, there's so many layers of bureaucracy. And, you know,
Right, it's true, but I did talk with Andy when I
the
was.
thing to do is to approach it the same way we did everything else. You've gotta take photos of it, you've gotta take the coordinates and then maybe measurements and then call Christie and say, this is what we've got.
Right, I did
How
talk,
do we add that on?
correct, and I talked to Andy tonight, and he
Mhm.
said, you could be looking at 10 to 15,000, because you gotta get it paved. You know, you gotta dig it out, you gotta compact it, and it's not just that area, there's another area down below it, on the edge, where it's undermined, so it isn't just that one spot, it's a little bit further to where he added the gravel. He says you gotta do that, and then there's a group coming in for Caratunk to do their paving,
Mhm.
because, you know, they've had that catastrophic event over there. He said it might be something that you could coordinate with that when they're on site to do that paving.
That makes sense.
But he said you could be looking at another 10 to 15,000.
Well, I think part of that too is that we need to get an estimate from Andy,
Right.
right? So that would be the whole piece, the
Right,
photos,
and
the
he did
coordinates,
say that
and
he'd be
the
willing to
estimate.
look at
And
that
get that to
area.
Christie and see what we go.
He's willing to look
Yeah.
at that area and the cemetery road as well. I think it would behoove us to jump in and try to grab a hold of
Yeah,
that.
I mean. yeah.
FEMA money is FEMA money,
Mhm.
but,
It's fine with
and
me.
I can't take a picture of it because I don't have a cell phone, I'm sorry.
So is Andy gonna give us some estimates?
No, not yet, we're gonna have to start the process on that project,
Okay.
just like we did with, you know, like Charlie said, getting the coordinates, getting the pictures, letting her know about it, and then get the contractor on site, I guess.
Yeah, get a,
Yeah, I know
an estimate.
Phil is gonna have to have an estimate on some paving on his little,
Cave in up
you know,
there.
whatever.
Is Andy involved with that too, or Sam?
Sam was with Phil on that area, so I'm not sure. Could be something that maybe Phil couldn't get a hold of, who knows, but, I just thought where I went to talk with him, I didn't mean to jump in without telling you, but I thought we'd better grab
No.
onto this.
No.
Okay, so I appreciate that, your understanding, and,
Is FEMA or something else here? They'll have 5 people, mitigation, then you have antiquities and geologist person, and then you have I mean, it's all these different people that have these departments that have to all weigh in and sign on it, and then it goes down to some big central sign-off center in Virginia, and then the other board looks at it and checks all the evidence. I mean, it's quite a process.
right,
There's no question about it.
that's true. So I mean, I don't know when you're leaving on your vacation or whatever, but,
Tomorrow morning.
okay. It's kinda dark up there right now.
And I'm not 100% certain, I mean, maybe the site would be obvious to me, but.
It's right there where we filled in on that road where they put the rocks. You know, that little side area where people pull up.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Your Whitless used to have a trust 30 years ago.
Possibly.
That guy lived there.
Oh my God.
That's why they put the rocks there.
Right on site.
Yeah,
So let's start that process, I guess. I can always email her and let her know that we have another area that's
yeah,
popped
if you
up.
do that, I can, I don't see why I can't get a photo and coordinates on it.
I know. So, all right, and that's old business. Do you have any more old business?
I don't-
You don't. New business, it's springtime. The board will discuss the spring cleanup at the town hall, the area on the lawn, the cemeteries, and Moxie Boat Landing. It's something we could ask Chris if he's interested in doing. Kevin Ross has helped us out in the spring before. But the boat landing, there's a lot of debris up there right now, on the
What's this
town.
consist of, debris removal, raking,
Raking, yeah.
stuff like that?
Yeah, and sometimes we will rent a sweeper
Mhm.
from down below at the equipment rental place, and sweep the boat landing. And now we got some pretty black circles on the boat landing, right on the helicopter pad. It's really pretty. Wish I could find out who did it so we can get them to repaint it for us.
So debris removal, sand removal,
Right.
raking. And how has this been handled in the past?
Kevin Ross has helped us before, Jim Levitt has helped us before.
Okay.
Kevin has helped us, of course, with the snow
Mhm.
removal in the winter.
And then Chris Mann is another possible.
Yeah,
person.
I mean,
The guys both on payroll, Chris
correct.
and Kevin.
Right.
so.
We also have a lot of sign work that needs to be done this year. Sign work has not been done. I think there was some done the year before. Harold was our sign person. The
Specifically,
street signs,
the.
okay, street signs. So we have a ton of them, as David's seen them on the Lake Mont, so have you, on the Troutdale Road, seen some disrepair. This disrepair,
These blue metal signs, the street
yeah,
signs.
I'm gonna take pictures of them all.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do an inventory, I'm gonna do the sign inventory thing and get that ready. I'm gonna do pictures of what we need and we'll discuss it at the next meeting, but Kevin was also interested in maybe doing some sign work, cause I talked to him last fall. Last summer where we had the shutdowns back to back, that was a very low priority. This year, it's pretty bad. There's quite, I would say at least 10 signs and poles that need to be done. So, it's something we need to address. But the sign work isn't on the table right now, it's just the spring cleanup.
Yeah.
And, I didn't know how you wanted to proceed. If you wanted to talk
Yeah,
to
but
Kevin.
be
or-
approach those guys and see if they're interested and.
I mean, Kevin has
come up
done the
with a
spring
plan.
cleanup before, so he knows.
Yeah, he's busy at that now, though, he's a full-time brewer, I just don't know what his,
Right.
schedule is for that, but yeah.
Would you like to contact them and ask them?
Mhm.
It's probably gonna be up 4 to 6 hours if you add it all together. I mean, there's a lot of dirt debris out here, if you look. And the reason why the sweeper is such a good idea, which we don't have to do, but we can, is we have a lot of dirt on our tarred area, even though we don't do anything with our tarred area.
Over here?
Yeah, behind us. So I don't know if you've looked at it. You
Where
probably-
does that come out on the budget, plantation charges?
Yes.
Do we have extra money in there? I mean,
We have
where
a
do we
group,
stand with that though?
that's a good question.
Yeah.
That I don't have
Before
the
we
detail.
start cleaning up the current area, I mean, it would just seem like it would be good to know how much money you have to spend on that.
Well, I would think it's an included in the group money.
Plantation charges.
Right, but I mean, if you don't have any money left in plantation
Yeah,
charges.
I think you're kinda shortchanging whoever 4 to 6 hours, I mean, that's a
I
day.
don't know,
You
I'm
know, I
just,
mean,
as a
You know,
guess.
don't shortchange the guys, and who's gonna pick up the sweeper?
Right,
And I mean, you know.
that was the thing that, it always worked out well before, because Harold came back and forth.
Well, now we're moving forward, and we gotta get somebody else, so.
Right, no, I know, and that's true, and I
Right.
agree, yeah.
My question was, could we have somebody clean the town office and the bathrooms before the election day this year?
Would have to be done.
I don't know, maybe Chris's wife, when he's doing
Teresa
it.
loves to
So I'll tell you what, I'll make an agreement to talk with Kevin and Chris, come up with a plan for cleaning up the areas and getting the appropriate equipment if it's running. And, you know, I'd have to look at the works, 4 to 6 hours maybe seems a little shy too.
It might be a little shy, but I mean, like the same,
But I, you know,
I didn't even
so,
read it.
I'll coordinate that and come up with a date and make sure that it happens.
Thank you, Bill.
And Teresa for cleaning the
Well,
town office?
And no, we have used Lindsay Weiser in the past, she was the last one to clean the town hall.
That was a long time ago.
Huh?
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Not that long.
Called,
She
No.
cleaned it the day that I was working the election,
right,
which was like last
Yeah.
November or something.
Yeah. November.
Gina Hartford likes to do that stuff too,
Right.
and she likes to do outside stuff as well,
Oh,
yeah.
Who's that?
Gina Hartford, Chris St. Laurent,
Oh, yeah.
Chris, Jim St. Laurent. She does a lot of that odd job
Yeah.
stuff, she likes to paint and,
Well, definitely the town
Yard
hall
work,
needs to be
yeah.
cleaned, I need to bond the town hall, and it needs to be cleaned before the primary, absolutely.
The flies.
Um,
Does that-
no, I know.
Does that help when you use those fobs? I
It
would like
does.
to know.
It
I have
does.
them all through my house.
You should see the floors, wow.
Really? Where do you get that? Just at?
You get them at the,
Like I.
hardware store and Jackman, we have an account there.
Oh, no, I meant for myself.
Oh, I mean, it's just like flea and tick
My house
bomb.
is invaded, but I never knew if those really work or not.
It's flea and tick bomb, you set them,
It's working for us.
Oh, it is? Okay.
yeah, you set them on a chair and leave them to leave.
Really?
Yeah, I put
Sorry.
like,
You use those?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I've got a different product that doesn't, you don't have to leave the house or anything, it's just a
Yeah.
topical spray,
Right,
and it's safe as, when it dries, you know, we wanna make sure it's safe for the dogs, everything.
well,
It's-
that's fine, I think
And it's messy, because you, every time you come in a room, there's more dead flies on windowsills,
Oh,
but
they're there anyway.
if they're gonna be there, I'd rather be dead, and I can vacuum them up, but
Right,
we
no,
just spray the perimeter of every window in the house where they tend to congregate, and in
Yeah.
about a minute and a half, when after touching the window, they're on the windowsill.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
I mean,
I'd be
Lindsay's back
interested
now, and
to-
I would like
I
to,
like that stuff.
to
It's
ask
Tay-
Lindsay if she's
Tay-Lac.
available for the cleaning.
I'll make sure I get TALAK.
I'm fine with Lindsay doing it, she's on payroll right now,
Right.
and if she wants to do it, I'm fine with that.
If not, Teresa's an excellent idea, and so is Gina.
Lindsay did a really good job when she did it.
She did it,
last
and
time. Yeah.
she's, wow, yeah. Okay. So, I make a motion that Charlie contacts Chris and Kevin about the spring cleanup,
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
and that I contact Lindsay about the town hall cleaning, which would be before the primary, hopefully in May. It would behoove us to do the town cleaning once a quarter, at least the explicit, you know, like the really thorough cleaning. How about that motion?
Yeah, oh, so I make a motion for a second.
Okay, second. All in favor?
This is, okay, that's the motion, okay, wait a second.
For Charlie to contact boys about the spring cleanup, the sweeping, and then Sandy to contact Lindsay about.
Okay, and who made the motion?
I did,
Sandy didn't say it.
great. Wait. What?
That's one, right, citizens? Are we there?
Well, we have to talk about the budget and the new business,
Okay.
because we gotta find a way to move forward. Right? And the budget usually is involved with, like I said, the assessors and the treasurer doing it together. It's not a tax collector and a treasurer function solely, okay? You don't know what you don't know, and neither does Evan, all right? I'm not saying that I don't know everything. Evan, no.
Yeah.
Sandy,
Okay, so I don't know what I don't
Trying to get
know.
yourself out there a little bit farther than you probably ought to right
I'll put together a budget, you guys can approve it.
No, I don't, I
Then
think
you put
that's,
together the budget and I'll approve it.
oh gosh, it's more than one person, Evan.
Not really.
Somebody enlighten me what's going
I
on
mean,
here.
Yeah.
Working on the
Put
budget,
together
getting
a
ready for
budget
town
requires
meeting.
a person entering numbers into a spreadsheet. It doesn't require a group effort.
Can I go over just usually what's done, and then you can,
Sure.
all right, usually get together in a meeting, go over the warrant from the previous year. You know, pull your figures in as you go, your LPC, you know, your UKVAS, your CFWF, you know, you bring things together. You make decisions on the warrant articles. What are you gonna add? Like, for instance, this year, I think we need to add a warrant article to discuss Ida's Place. You know, that's sitting up there costing the taxpayers money. We haven't dealt with that, we haven't done anything with that since we acquired it in '22, right?
Still don't know why we acquired it, but
Didn't we find last year in the budget, in the warrant, that like we had that one for social security that wasn't supposed to be there, that was a duplicate? I'm wondering, what is the value of looking at last year's, maybe to,
only as a reference.
reference.
It's a reference, it's like not a blueprint, but it's just a point of reference to start, and as you pull figures in, as you figure out what needs to be spent on this, on that.
so that you don't forget anything.
Right, and then you bring together the ideas for the new warrant, for what you bring to the people in the town.
But I think a cut and paste from last year, it would be a mistake.
That's not what I was saying, Susan.
Okay,
No, that wasn't just bring it forth and there you go. Now, usually the drafts of the warrant, usually there's at least 6 or 8 of them that go out. You know, you get it, you work it up, you put your numbers in, you send it out, and, you know, run it by everybody, everybody looks at it, sometimes one person will find something, some person will find another. So it isn't an immediate thing.
But you must have to start with how much money you're going to take in. I mean, you've gotta start with that, right?
Well, you have to work on what the numbers are in the total warrant, raising an appropriate,
I know, but you can only spend as much money as you're gonna take in, right?
Ideally.
Yeah.
well, that's why you propose the budget, so you'll know what your tax commitment is gonna be and what you need to bring in,
and that's what sets you.
okay? Not what you have to bring in, what you need to bring in.
What we'll do is we'll look at what we've spent
That's
compared to what we raised,
That's right,
and we'll take it from there.
that's
I
right,
mean, it's not brain surgery,
right.
I didn't say
it's just
not.
numbers.
And you're an excellent numbers guy, Evan, I get that.
So are you gonna start on that budget process?
But it's a joint effort, and I'm not, you know.
The problem is if it's a joint effort, then everybody needs to make an effort to get along, and that's a real problem.
Isn't it?
I don't understand
Yes.
how.
That's a real problem.
Yes, and I'm here tonight, I'm trying to work with people. I'm not the one insulting people and sending these out there, so we need to try, Yeah, I agree.
Well, can't Evan start and get all the numbers together and then
And
You have something
to
to
get
start
like
with.
the head start because we are such limited time?
I would suggest that we do it together to try to move forward. I know you've discussed maybe having Judith help.
That was something that Evan and Judith had talked about
Right.
in the past.
Has anybody talked to Judith about that?
I reached out to her, she did not respond.
Okay. Because I know that we've talked about it, but
I don't need her help though, but it'd be nice, it'd be super nice.
she is a great resource for us to have present no matter who's working on the budget. She knows her stuff.
I think she makes it much harder than it really is.
Is that a
Certainly more
collaborative effort
complicated.
during her, tax collector income? Is that a collaborative effort that she's getting paid, or she's assisting with the
No, it
budget?
would be something separate. It would be a separate, because she's no longer an assessor. It's not part of her
But
job.
as a tax collector and a consultant, is she gonna be paid separately?
I don't know. I mean, that's something
Just
we're talking
curious.
about. I don't know. I think that would be,
Absolutely
a good, well, you know,
What I would like to do is I'd like to give Evan an opportunity to get the numbers together, and then we take a look at them and we take it from there. And certainly you and I can take a look at them, we can get back to, or whoever else wants to, we can get back to Evan with our thoughts, and, that would be a good way to proceed.
but I'm just saying, it's not a
I think-
one-person issue.
I've
It's
put
not,
together
I think
maybe
we-
1,000 budgets in my life, and I don't ever recall doing it with more than one person. Like, it's just you put together a budget, and then you share it with people who are gonna look at it, critique it, and then decide if they're gonna change it, but one person puts it together. It's not, budgets are not a group effort. Like, talking about the budget is the group effort.
Okay, I think that sounds like a good plan.
Okay, but
Yeah.
when it's
I mean,
getting
it's-
to
you
be,
just
yeah,
pull the
lunch.
numbers together. It's not a lot.
Okay.
Don't even-
Okay, and citizens' comments and questions? Hi, Justin.
This is your time first, anything you wanna talk about, as long as it's town business.
Or what's for
Whatever
dinner.
they want, whatever they need to.
The tractor runs great.
I love
Nice.
it.
At least you have a tractor.
I know.
I make the motion, we call the meeting.
At what time?
8:04.
8:04, thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming on.
Sorry, I was late. I said,
I did not. Well, I don't have my books in order because of the doctor's straight.
That's okay.
Sooner rather than later. I usually wait till Mother's Day weekend, but I think I'm gonna come back next week and grind it in. My daughter, no, you come back, all the way
I
over.
mean,
Rocket
I'll
Park.
just put together
It
what we
needs to be
spent.
I got it, right?
First,
I got it. Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
But they
They
didn't.
should have something for your
I have it lined up today.
All right, you got our boy coming up to save the house, and Kenny said you saw last week, the mechanical.
And what I'll do is, what I was thinking about doing is
Yeah.
taking all the categories, trios,
She's leaving her car there for breaks, so.
matching them up with.
All right, see you guys. Yeah, take care. Yep.
See you later.
Thank you for that.
So, when we say we raised $8,000 for this or that, I mean,
What I think is
where in
that,
trio are we spending that money?
That's right, that's right, and it's not always in what we voted to spend.
Right, so try to decipher that out, but putting maybe 3
I
categories
can't find it, it's a
into
legal
one of the
nightmare. It's a legal
items on
nightmare for
warrant,
the town.
and so
right
I'll
now.
pull those 3 and put them underneath.
I've worked
Say, okay,
over 5 years.
This is what I'm calling
to put
this,
things in
this
place,
item,
like
out of these 3
security and
categories,
internal.
you know? We spent
internal
more than we raised,
control.
why, how are we doing that? Or
That's
we spent
what
less than we raised, we don't need to
anybody-
raise that much anymore.
Right.
Maybe we don't need to.
Yeah, where are we? Not far.
So in my 28 years of government experience,
Legal fees and audit fees
and
is what we're gonna do.
that's why we hire.
Very poor job.
And then
We prepare the budget.
That's right.
Working
And
for-
then we discuss it.
To do
So
this
I just,
job,
I
and
didn't
then I
want
can
us to
do
get a
that.
term because I don't know.
Their inability to be
It's a
that.
process,
Right.
right?
That's
I had a, you know, the chief warrant officer
We
who's
can do
the
that.
finance guy, he's
You know,
the,
we do
You got your own lawyer now?
your controller, your controller, whatever it is.
I got a flight at Nick's last up, she's dropping her car at
Oh, is this the
Valley's,
stuff?
but it's
Because I'm not gonna, I'm not
7:29.
gonna involve
I
him in any
talked to a
way.
friend of mine who works for a pest
I
control
think
company,
I'll
and I was
do a
like,
great
what do you do,
job.
you know?
But I
Cause like the resident
buy
stuff
it
isn't
from
working.
him, you
No,
mean?
I think I can shout on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's resident.
Does it do ticks too?
Yeah.
If
Well,
you're
I
not-
hired,
No,
I hired.
this is an indoor spray, not an
Indoor
outside.
spray, we just seal, we coated our entire
We need to
attic,
come to
seal